Hi, and welcome to day number 77 in our Route 66 journey through the Bible. We've come to a new location, the book of Judges. Judges is a book in the Bible kind of in between. They've conquered the land, but they haven't set up the government yet for the whole country. So they're kind of in the middle. And these people that are called judges are not like what we would typically call judges. Judges sit in a courtroom and they make decisions. These judges were, I guess a better term would be deliverers, because Judges chapter 1 tells us what happened. It kind of sets the setting. The Israelites continue their conquest of Canaan, this land, the promised land that was given to Abraham after Joshua's death. And some of the tribes succeed in kicking out the enemies and driving them out, but others, they really don't. They allow them to live there, and they have an evil influence on them. Sometimes they force them to labor so they get something out of them. But this disobedience of not removing the people out is going to lead to some trouble, because God commanded them to remove those people, and they didn't. And so what's going to end up happening is some of these people that are there are going to rise up and conquer them and put them in slavery, and they're going to cry out to God, and God's going to raise up a deliverer, and he's going to take all care of them. They're going to get some freedom. Then they're going to go back into it again, and it's just going to be it's actually called the cycle of the judges. It just goes round and round. They have good, and then they turn to evil, and then God punishes them, and then they cry out to God, and God delivers them, and everything's going good for a while. Just kind of keep going around and around. So Judges chapter 1 sets the stage, and then Judges chapter 2, Israel begins to turn from God. There's an angel of the Lord that appears and warns Israel that if they continue to disobey, the Canaanites are going to be a problem. After Joshua and his generation die off, there's a new generation that comes along that wasn't part of that original generation, and they allow the enemies to oppress them. At first, they were oppressing the enemies that let them to stay. Now the enemies are oppressing them, and God raises these judges up to rescue them when they repent. But each time a judge dies, they go right back into it. So there's a couple of lessons even from these first two kind of opening chapters are. One lesson from chapter 1, partial obedience is still disobedience. When we don't fully follow God's instructions, we're going to face the consequences. Partial obedience is still disobedience. And then in chapter 2, if we forget about God and his commandments, it is easy to fall into sin. It's important for us to remember that God has given us some commands, and he has done some amazing things for us, and we need to have faith in him and trust him and continue to obey him. The Jews did not, and they ended up getting in trouble over and over. So it's going to be great to open up another book in the Bible and begin to take that journey. So God bless.